In the late 60s and early 70s, NASA launched the Apollo missions to the moon that landed 12 astronauts on the lunar surface in a series of historic missions. Or did they? Actually, yes, NASA did. But that hasn't stopped some people from maintaining that humans never set foot on the lunar surface, and that the entire effort was a massively staged event for the world to see. Conspiracy theorists claim that the lunar landings never happened, and all the video footage and images were staged. This theory is one of the world's most famous and biggest ever conspiracy theories. It is completely denied by NASA, which insists that they all happened and all footage is genuine. Let's take a look at some of the wild Apollo moon hoax claims and the real science that debunks them.
Number 1. Fluttering flag. The claim is about the American flag which appears to wave in the lunar wind, which is impossible on the airless moon surface. But the thing is, it's not actually waving. If you look closely, you will notice the flag's edges are pulled taut. This effect, which was done purposely as to not allow the flag to just hang flat, it was created by inserting a stiff wire into the fabric. The flutter was created as the astronauts worked to erect the flag. As the wire was adjusted, Old Glory appeared to wave. Number 2. Death by micrometers. Space is filled with super-fast micrometers that will punch through the ship and kill the astronauts. While there are indeed an uncountable number of tiny pieces of debris traveling through the solar system at speeds in the neighborhood of 200,000 km per hour, the volume of space keeps the density low. The chance of any given cubic yard of space having a micrometer passing through it is incredibly close to zero. Additionally, the astronaut suits included a layer of Kevlar to protect them from any tiny fragment they might encounter.
Number 3. The shadows. Multiple angle shadows in the moon photos prove there was more than one source of light, like a large studio lamp, but the astronauts were taking their photos on a hilly, brightly lit landscape while the sun was close to the horizon. Imagine taking a photograph of someone on a rolling, uneven field of snow during a full, low-hanging moon. The contours of the ground would produce shadows of many different lengths. Number 4. Liquid water on the moon. It's commonly known that to leave a footprint requires moisture in the soil, doesn't it? Actually, not always. If you take some dry fine-grained dust, such as talcum powder, and dump it out, it's easy to make tracks in it that hold their shape. The particles hold their positions due to the friction between them.
Number 5. A sky full of stars. Space is littered with little points of light. Then why are they missing from the photographs? If you have ever taken a photograph outside at night, you will notice that faint distant objects don't show up. That's not because the air blocks them. It's because the brightness of the nearby objects washes out the film. In fact, if you were standing on the day side of the moon, you would have to somehow block the landscape out in order for your eyes to adapt enough to pick out the stars. Number 6. Danger Zone. It's claimed that if the astronauts had left the safety of the Van Allen belt, the radiation would have killed them. But the fact is, the Van Allen belts are created by Earth's magnetic field and protect the planet from dangerous solar radiation. The belts collects this radiation and traps it in a layer surrounding the Earth. But unless you deliberately caused your spaceship to hover within this layer for many hours or days, the radiation exposure is well below dangerous levels. The Apollo astronauts passed through the belts in less than 4 hours total for the trip. It's not much more serious than getting a chest X-ray. Number 7. Why not now? The last and most popular one says that all 6 moon landings happened during the Nixon administration and no other national leader has claimed to have landed astronauts on the moon, despite 40 years of rapid technological development. This is a favorite among conspiracy theorists because it needs no evidence but points the finger at the presidency of Richard Nixon. The fact is, after the Apollo landings, the race had been won and the money dried up. The Soviet Union has no interest in coming second, and politicians on both sides realized that lower orbit missions had much greater commercial and military potential.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. I was strolling on the moon. one day in a merry, merry month of December. Now, May, when much to my surprise, a pair of bunny eyes. Boy, is this a neat way to travel. Isn't it great? Dum-da-dum-dum-dum. Dum-da-dum-dum-dum.